The great state of North Carolina, where the chair of the Education and Workforce is standing by. She is now recognized for questions. Representative Foxx, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman Bean, and I want to thank our witnesses for being here today. Dr. Raymond, coming to you again. You mentioned that charter school results for students in urban areas and for minority students are especially positive. Could you say something more about that? I know you've done excellent research and have terrific numbers about this, so we'd love to hear more about that.
I love it when somebody asks me for more numbers. Thank you.
Will you turn your mic on? I'm not sure it's on.
Yes, ma'am, it is on. Can you hear me now?
Okay.
So urban students enrolled in charter schools learn an extra 30 days in a year's time in reading and 28 extra days of learning in math in a year's time compared to district students that they're matched with. For Black students, those numbers are 35 extra days of learning in reading and 29 extra days of learning in math. Hispanic students, reading 30 extra days in reading for Hispanic students and 19 extra days for Hispanic students in math. And the poverty results are 23 extra days of learning and reading and 17 extra days of learning in math. What this means is over a course of several years, students are making months and months and months of additional academic progress. This means they're better prepared to graduate. They're better prepared for life after high school.
Which makes it, again, even more puzzling as to why policymakers don't want these students to have these opportunities. It's just maddening. Mr. Pondicio, in the last few years, we've seen parents in traditional public schools get silenced, excluded, and shamed for simply wanting to be part of their children's education. I think that's inexcusable. How can charter schools help ensure parents have a voice in their child's education?
The best schools, charter, public, private alike, recognize the power of getting every adult on the same page, so to speak, or pulling in the same direction. I think one of the potential benefits of charter schools is to encourage, again, innovation and create a wider variety, an ecosystem, if you like, of different school types. With respect to my research-based colleagues, I focus on curriculum, on instruction, on school culture. If you think of the choices that an affluent American parent has at his or her disposal, they depending on where they live, of course, they likely have access to a classical school, a Montessori school, a project-based learning school. They have, without controversy, unfettered access to make the best choice for his or her child. Imagine if we had a similar range of options for low-income families, where, and this should be the magic of chartering. And let's be honest, if there's a weak link in the charter ecosystem, it's that we are not encouraging this robust flowering of different school models and cultures. But if we use the chartering process to create an equal system, a system that was just as robust and diverse and had as many different options as well-off families have, well, then you would more likely match parents and children to schools that match their interests, their values, et cetera. So that I think is the promise of chartering that is unfulfilled, but it is fulfillable.
Thank you very much. Mr. Campbell,
yes,
we've heard a lot of concerns about how too much red tape can stifle charter school flexibility and growth. As someone who's been involved in charter schools for several years, what kind of regulations could be eliminated without compromising charter effectiveness?
Yeah, I honestly, ma'am, I don't know where to start, right? There are so many regulations, and I must say, this is not only the case for our charter schools, it's for traditional public schools also. Like, the amount of red tape that we throw at education is ridiculous. And I'll give you a really quick story. In Louisiana, we passed a bill several years ago that would allow every kid to get $1,000 in free tutoring. A report just came out last week that only 1% of eligible students were taking advantage of that. The reason was because we made the mandates for being a tutor so hard. Like, you had to be a retired teacher, you had to have so many hours of training, that we couldn't find enough teachers to do it. So across the board, we're always bringing in additional mandates. Cursive writing, you have to learn about this one little obscure thing. At the end of the day, let's set the outcomes and let's try to get out of the way. Let's take the handcuffs off. I mean, we certainly want to protect kids. We want to protect families. Those things are really important. But I would argue our whole system is overly burdened by regulatory red tape, and it certainly affects charters, which are supposed to be exempt from that.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Thank you very much, Chair Foxx. Let's go to the great state of New York, where Representative Bowman is recognized. Good morning.